All right, hello everybody. This is about effects of changes in ecosystems 2. If we scroll down to the lesson section, this is what we are going to be covering in this video. Okay, so the first question shows a graph of salmon population from the year 1970 to 1999. The question tells you that there was an oil spill in 1999, which is this year right here. And it asks you, what does the data suggest about the effect of the oil spill that oil spill had on pink salmon? So obviously in a bar graph, the taller the bar, the higher the number. And so in 1989, this was the number of fish. This was the year that the oil spill happened. The year before, you can see the population was lower. And then the oil spill happened, and then the population actually went up the following year. It went down a little bit the next year, but still higher than it was in 89. And then in 92, it went down this far. But there really wasn't the first time that the population had been that low. It had been that low in the past as well. There was no oil spill. So the question asks, what does the data suggest about the effect that the oil spill had on the salmon? So tell me, what do you think? What effect do you think that the oil spill had on the population of salmon? Did it go up after the oil spill? Did it go down? Did it go down and stay down? Or was there really no effect at all? Next question. Dead zones are low oxygen areas that develop on the sea floor. Which of the following would most likely cause an increase in the contributors to dead zones? Dead zones is something that we talked about previously. A dead zone is an area of water where there is no oxygen. What happened to the oxygen? All the oxygen has been used up by bacteria in the water. Bacteria come from? The bacteria came from all the dead algae that was there, that is currently there. Where did the dead algae come from? From there being a lot of living algae. And where did the living algae come from? Excess nitrogen in the water. So when nitrogen runs off of the land and it goes into the water, nitrogen is food for plants. Algae is just water plants. Algae reproduce, they overpopulate. When they die, the bacteria that eat them overpopulate and suck up a lot of oxygen out of the water. No oxygen in the water, no fish. So, which of these following things would most likely cause that to happen? This next question says that there is a fungus that is killing amphibians in large numbers. The graph shows the location and presence of the fungus throughout the world. It then tells you that more than 350 amphibian species have been affected, and at least 200 species of frogs have suffered serious reductions in populations or become extinct. So we have this fungus that is killing a bunch of frogs and other amphibians. What would be the most likely impact on the decline of frog populations resulting from the fungal infection? Notice the map to answer this question, waste of space, and it's a distractor. The question is, if a lot of frogs die, what is possibly going to happen as a result of a lot of frogs dying? Would a new species of frogs that feed on both the fungus and the infected species evolve? Well, we don't know that new species are going to evolve in the future. We can't say species are going to evolve to be able to beat the fungus. Maybe they will, maybe they won't, but we can't say that right now. Plants will no longer grow in infected ecosystems and fish will increase. Once again, there's no way to know that. But there's no reason to think that if frogs go away, that plants won't grow anymore. The fungus will move on land and destroy reptile and mammal populations. Well, there's no evidence to suggest that the fungus is going to kill reptiles and mammals. Currently, it's only affecting amphibians. It can affect amphibians doesn't mean it's going to affect everything else. So that's probably not it either. Populations of algae and mosquitoes will increase, leading to fish die-offs and potential. Okay, so amphibians do eat algae, and we know frogs eat mosquitoes. And if there's less frogs, there will be more mosquitoes, right? So, and more algae means more dying, means more bacteria eating the algae, means more dead zones. Because we know that when you have too much algae, that's eventually what happens, is it creates dead zones. So, D sounds pretty good. The overgrowth of algae poses a major problem for coral reefs. Intensive fishing, intensive means you do it a lot. So a lot of fishing is one factor that contributes to algae overgrowth because it does which of the following. So when we're fishing, we're removing a lot of fish out of the water. Fish eat algae, some of them, not all of them, some more than others, but fish in general will eat algae. Less fish means more algae. Why? A, B, C, or D? You tell me. It's pretty obvious if you just think about it. Okay, so this question explains how the Nile River, which is a big river that flows through Egypt, and it flows into the Mediterranean Sea. Now, normally what happens is when it rains a lot, it will flood during the flooding season, and all that flood water will run off the land and carry a lot of dirt and sediment and nutrients from the land and wash it all away into the Mediterranean Sea. Now, there's a dam, however, that was put in, and that dam is preventing all that flood water from rushing off of the land into the sea. So all these nutrients and sediment from the land that would normally flow into the sea are now being trapped behind the dam and not making it into the sea. So how has this dam most likely affected the Mediterranean Sea ecosystem? So the chart shows you after the dam construction how much water was flowing into the sea, and this is before the dam construction. So you can see that after the dam was constructed, during the flood season here, this is the flood season, August, September, October, a lot less water was flowing into the sea than there was before the dam was there. So what effect has this most likely had on the Mediterranean Sea? Remember, less water carrying nutrients from the soil and the sediment from the land is making it into the sea. So which answer choice, A, B, C, or D, would most likely happen as a result of that? Keep in mind that water plants do use nutrients that are in or on the land. Okay, what result of acid rain? So you don't need to really know how acid rain is formed. That's not important for the question, but the question is, when there is acid rain, what is the most likely result? Now you just need to know a little bit about acid rain. If you don't, now acid rain is just normal rain that's slightly more acidic than normal rain. Okay, so it doesn't mean it's acid falling from the sky and it's going to burn your skin. It just means that it is slightly more acidic than normal rain. Acidic is the opposite of basic. Acidic is like orange juice. When you drink orange juice and any kind of citrus thing, or you eat a lemon or a lime, that sharp acidity. When you drink milk, that cool smoothness, that texture, uh, that is basic. That's the opposite of acidic. So this rain is slightly more acidic. It's not like lemon juice or lime juice acidic, but it's just slightly more toward that direction than normal rain. What would be the most likely result of that? Okay. Asian carp are invading the Great Lakes, or they're not yet, but they could be. So, what are Asian carp? Well, Asian carp are a group of fast and aggressive fish that are native to Asia. However, they've been brought here, and the Great Lakes are in danger of being invaded by them. Why is this a problem? Well, the Asian carp have no natural predators. They lay approximately 500,000 eggs each time they reproduce, and their food source is mostly plankton, which is also a food source for species in this that are native to this ecosystem in the Great Lakes. So in other words, a foreign fish that is not from that area, is not native to that ecosystem, that reproduces very quickly and is very aggressive and will eat a lot of the food that the native species that already live there would normally be eating, is in danger of invading this ecosystem. What would happen if the Asian carp, which reproduce quickly and eat a lot of food that other people also eat, or other animals also eat, what would most likely happen? And they have no native predators. And that's it.